that still yet?
He sent another one, and it has the time on it, because I asked the same question. It was all day.
I've seen this before. I was looking up to find out when Nikki started.
Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:01. Can we have a moment of silence, please? Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call. Mr. Kenny?
Here.
Mrs. Blystein?
Here.
Ms. Catherine Blystein?
Here.
Mr. Bromhall? Ms. Falconero?
Here.
Ms. Iacone?
Here.
Mr. Meeker?
Here.
Ms. Trompe? Ms. Fitzwater, present. Statement is hereby made that adequate notice of this meeting was given by submission of said notice to the Burlington County Times, the Courier Post, the Cinnaminson Township Clerk, and the district website on the following dates: January 17th, 2024, and January 8th, 2025. Moving on to Section 4, routine business. We have the Board Secretary's report for February of 2025, the Treasurer's report for February of 25, the receipts and appropriations adjustments for February of 25, the monthly transfer report for February of 25, the high school activities report for March of 25, the food service management cost performance statement for March of 25, certified bill list ending 4/9 of 2025, and the approval of minutes, the regular minutes from March 18th of 25. Mr. Kenny, can I have a motion to approve Section 4, routine business items A through H?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Meeker. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Blystein?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to routine matters, Section 5, we have the enrollment report as of April 11th of 25, the health report for March of 25, the fire alarm report for March, the crisis drill report, and the superintendent's monthly report. Mr. Capello.
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. Thank you, members of the board. Welcome, members of the public, to our regular board meeting. I'd like to begin my remarks with a couple points of recognition. First, we just recently celebrated on April 1st the 40th Annual Invention Convention. 40 is a significant number, as it is quite a lot of history that went into that event. And this year's event was exceptional, and we will hear a little bit more about the Invention Convention in a little bit. But I did want to recognize the Invention Convention coordinator, Lauren Coker, and her assistant, Ms. Gabriela Lopez, and all of our wonderful winners on the job well done. Again, more to come on Invention Convention. I'd like to congratulate Ms. Janine Miller, New Albany's Faculty Member of the Month for last month. The week of April 7th through the 11th is Assistant Principals Week, so I'd like to recognize our assistant principals in the district at New Albany School, Ms. Jeanette Oliver at the Rush School, Ms. Jeannie Apt at the middle school right here, Ms. Nelson and Mr. Miley. Of course, at the high school, Mrs. Calfazade and Mr. Wilkinson. Assistant principal is often an underappreciated job, and we would not be able to run our schools without their diligent work, and we certainly appreciate them. Speaking of principal recognition, I'd like to take a moment right now to offer special congratulations to our colleague, Mr. Ryan Gorman, who was recognized by his colleagues from throughout Burlington County with the Burlington County Principals and Supervisors Visionary Leader of the Year Award. So this is a significant award given to Mr. Gorman, and I don't normally pause for applause during my remarks, but congratulations, Mr. Gorman. Like other members of the county are out in support of you this evening. So job well done, Mr. Gorman. You represent us well. Speaking of appreciation, before we meet again, May 6th, or the second week of May, will be Teacher Appreciation Week. I want to thank all of the businesses in town and beyond who have been working with our Staff Recognition Committee to show their appreciation to our fine educators and ESPs in the district, to thank them for all that they do, and of course our Home and School Association, who rolls out the red carpet for our educators during that week. I wanted to update the public. Before our next meeting, you will see an updated and revised district-wide Cinnaminson.com website and all new school web pages. We're looking to bring in a new CMS provider and to provide some unified communications going into the next school year. And the first step of that will be a new, fresh website. So we'll look forward to demonstrating that before the next board meeting. Also wanted to give an update to the members of the public on our pre-K initiative. You've heard me talk about it if you've been to these meetings in the past. I did want to point out this sign right here in front of me. You may have seen them around town. We're trying to get the word out to every corner of town. If your young folks will be 3 and 4 by October 15th, we'd love to have you enter the lottery. We'd also love to get to the point where someday we maybe don't need a lottery and we have a space for everyone. That is a 5-year ramp up, and we're working really hard towards getting there. And I thank my colleagues on the board for making that a huge initiative, and we would look forward to getting as many students enrolled as possible. We want to make sure that you don't miss the lottery, which does close tomorrow night at midnight. So if you know anybody else in town, I would appreciate your helping to get out the message to let them know to sign up for the lottery, and we'll look forward to selecting the students for that lottery just after spring break, right before the end of the month. Speaking of some updates in the district, a couple months ago, the board appointed a referendum committee. The referendum committee is looking forward to meeting on April the 30th to really begin the work of reviewing architectural plans and to reach out to the community, to other board members, and establishing some subcommittees to do a little bit more exploring into what it would look like to possibly add some square footage to our district. If you are a parent at New Albany or Rush, you know that there is no more room at the inn, and we're looking to try to alleviate some of the overcrowding, particularly at New Albany and Rush. So lots of work ahead, and we'll look forward to keeping the public updated as that initiative continues. I'd also like to mention and invite members of the public out to our public hearing, which will take place on April 29th at 5 o'clock p.m., where we will present the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. With that, Mrs. Fitzwater, that is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Capello. Ms. Trompe, can I have a motion to approve Section 5, routine matters, items A through E?
Motion?
Second. Thank you, Ms. Blystein. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Falconero?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 6, the student representative reports. First from the high school, we will hear from Gwen Chikonsky.
Good evening, everyone. The Golden Apple Award winner for the month of April is Dr. Sean McGee, who was nominated by Matson Zimmerman and Allison Yodis. The students of the month for March are as follows. Class of 2025, Addison Evans. Class of 2026, Lindsay Perrone. Class of 2027, Tegan Fudala. And class of 2028, Mia Hamill. For spring sports, the baseball team's current record is 4-3 after defeating Delran 2-1. The team's captains are Noah Harvey, Anthony Allison Journey, and Charlie Kind. The softball team's current record is 3-1 after defeating Delran 7-3 yesterday. The team's captains are Hannah Derbyshire, Madden Rittler, and Ellie Zarnowski. The girls lacrosse team record is currently 4-0. The team's captains are Riley Fudala, Megan Nelson, Surrey Horner, and Ava Stenilevich. Shout out to Megan Nelson for reaching her career 200th goal. The boys lacrosse team is currently 5-1. The team captains are Shay McDevitt, Sadi Gant, Doug Nelson, and RJ Seawick. Also, special shout out to Shay McDevitt for reaching his 100th career point. The track and field team participated in the Dan Danzer Invitational at Rancocas Valley Regional High School. At the relays, Shyla Moore placed first in the triple jump. Kellen Kohler placed first in the 400-meter hurdles. The team of Abby Sherlock, Emmy Keyports, Elena Kieran, and Jenna Kirsten took first place in the varsity 4x8. The boys tennis team's current record is 8-0 after a 4-1 victory over Gateway. The team's captain is Drew Harvey. The team participated in the Burlington County Open on Monday in Veterans Park. The golf team's current record is 7-0. The team captains are Mariella DeCristofaro, Tyler Harris, and Matson Zimmerman. The boys volleyball team current record is 4-6. The team captains are Timmy O'Connor and Josh Lubin. The junior class is hosting this year's junior and senior prom with the theme of Old Hollywood. The prom will be held Friday, May 16th at the Brooklyn Bowl in Philadelphia from 6 to 10 p.m. NHS members are holding tutoring sessions every Tuesday in the library from 2:15 to 2:45. Students are able to get any academic help they need. During March, the Spanish Club celebrated Women's History Month by learning about notable women of Hispanic culture via a slideshow, presentation, and videos. Some of the amazing women who were discussed were Ellen Ochoa, Selena, and Frida Kahlo. The Unified Club rocked their socks on March 21st to celebrate World Down Syndrome Day. Students worked hard to design their own special socks with fabric paint to take home. Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen. Now we will hear from the middle school representative, Noah Bundy.
Good evening. The March students of the month are 6th grader Misa DeMarlo Golding, 7th grader Brian Campbell, and 8th grader Min Nguyen. Mrs. Rose Adams, office secretary, was a faculty member of the month for March. Congratulations. Spring sports have started. We are excited for some spring weather and sunshine. Girls softball A beat Hainsport yesterday with great efforts by all. Girls softball B also had a great win yesterday against Paul Roberson Charter. With these wins, girls A softball record went to 5-1 and girls B softball went to 3-3. Girls A Lax played Harrington Mount Laurel yesterday. Goals were scored by Bella De Silva, Paige Hall, Maddie Pace, Maddie Otis, and Sophia Anderson, who each scored 1 goal, and Zoe S., who scored 3 goals. Haley R. had several saves, but we came up short with a score of 10-8, with Harrington winning. Girls B has a game today. Girls A record is now 1-3, and girls B is now 2-2. Boys A baseball played Hainsport and won 5-0. Logan Fadala and Joey Plath combined for a shutout while pitching. The record is now 4-2. Boys B baseball had a big win yesterday against Paul Roberson Charter, which gives them a record of 3-1-1. The CMS Drama Club had a successful drama show. Congratulations to the entire cast. The Unity Club hosted Unity Night on March 19th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Unity Night is a new event for adults with disabilities in the community. The students participated in crafts, games, and various activities and ate snacks. They had a great time, and the staff who helped had fun with them too. CHS Home and School Association held a night of family fun and entertainment with the Harlem Wizards and Cinnaminson staff members. The game was held on Saturday, March 22nd at 6:30 p.m. It was definitely a memorable experience. April was Autism Acceptance Month, and this year's theme in New Jersey is Celebrate Differences. To kick off the month, Cinnaminson staff were encouraged to wear bright, multicolored clothing on Monday, April 7th. Some important dates coming up are Wednesday, April 16th, report cards issued online, Thursday, April 17th, Pirate Pride Thursday, Friday, April 18th to Friday, April 25th, spring break, Wednesday and Thursday, April 30th and May 1st, NJSLA science testing for 8th grade only, Wednesday to Friday and Monday to Tuesday, May 7th, 8th, 9th, 12th, and 13th, NJSLA math and DLA for all grades. Thank you, and I hope you all have a great night.
Thank you, Noah.
Thanks, Noah.
And because we had such a great representative from Rush last month, we decided to do it again. We will now hear from the Rush School student representative, Brooke Gallagher.
Good evening. My name is Brooke Gallagher, and I'm a 5th grade student in Miss A. Kelly and Miss Judge's class. The March students of the month are as follows: Mackenzie Bobbias for 3rd grade, Isis Waters for 4th grade, Cole Boyce for 5th grade, and Eva McGinnis, who received the specialist nomination from Mr. Angelone. These students consistently go above and beyond the era's expectations and serve as role models for their classmates. The 40th Annual Invention Convention was held on Tuesday, April 1st. The Invention Convention showcased students' creativity and problem-solving skills as they designed and presented innovative projects. The following students will be recognized tonight for their outstanding inventions: Isabella Mosley, Elizabeth McCoy, and Emma Capaseco. On April 2nd, the 4th grade spring concert took place. It was a lively performance featuring Disney's favorites. Rush School's next big performances include Willy Wonka Kids, set to take place on May 19th and May 21st, as well as the District Strings Concert on May 22nd, featuring Rush Strings students, and the District Band Concert scheduled on May 29th. We hope to see you there. On Friday, April 11th, the winning fifth grade team from Rush School participated in the Burlington County Battle of the Books competition at St. Mary of the Lakes, competing against 12 teams. The Rush team took third place. The winners are Finn Conyers, Juliana Ferroni, Aria Cutler, Elizabeth Bayer, Kylie Colon, and John Fasinelli. There are many exciting events and field trips coming up. Fourth grade students will visit the New Jersey State House in April and May 5th. Fifth grade students are scheduled to visit Historical Philadelphia on May 16th, and third grade students are excited for the trip to the Franklin Institute on May 27th. Lastly, permission slips went home for fourth and fifth graders who will visit Camp Occonequan during the first week of June. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Brooke. You speak better than I do. And now we're going to move on to Section 7 of the agenda presentations. First, we're going to have a Board of Education recognizing some Cinnaminson students for their outstanding achievement.
My colleagues, the principals, would join me up here for the student recognition. I could definitely say that this is always the best part of any board meeting. We have an opportunity not just to talk about the great things that are happening, but to welcome some of our students out. I'm so glad that so many of you were able to make it out this evening. I know there's a million things going on. We're in the height of spring sports and so many activities that our students are involved in. So I think it's important to take a second to recognize the students and their exceptional achievements. We have just a few awards this evening compared to other months where this has taken a more significant amount of time. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Jones, principal of the New Albany School, who will do our first set of award winners.
Thank you, Mr. Capello. Thank you to the board. This evening, I'd like to recognize 3 students who placed in the Invention Convention. If those 3 students can come up and stand over here with us. All right. So I did want to say thank you to Ms. Coker, Mr. Perkupka, as well as Ms. Gabby Lopez from the high school for all of their hard work in making the Invention Convention this year a fabulous event. While I was there supervising, the kids not only got to participate in a Home Depot workshop, they also had hands-on activities with some STEM workshops as well. So it was a fun day for all. I'd first like to recognize Stephen Kajowski, who placed first with his invention of the Frozenator. Placing in second was Enzo Capasecco with his invention of the Silverware Saver. And then finally, we have Giannis Giannopoulos, who was third place with his Dog Superstar bag. Congratulations to these 3 students.
If I could have Isabella come join over at the side, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much. So from the Rush School, coming up with incredible innovations and inventions seems to be in the family business. Taking first place for Rush, we have Emma Capasecco for her cushy socks. Yeah. In second place for Rush, not present this evening due to an athletic event, is Miss Elizabeth McCoy with her #1 pencil. Congratulations to Elizabeth. And in third place for her snack saver, we have Miss Isabella Mosley. Congratulations.
Good evening. I am very happy to present our middle school winner for the Invention Convention. Aiden, would you come on up here? Mr. Aiden Arcano. Aiden won for his invention of the Codastrophes codable action figures. So he found that you only really code when you are in maybe computer class, tech class, and this is a great way for children to play with one another while using their coding skills. So congrats to Aiden. And next up, I have two young ladies who both placed in the All South Jersey Honors Orchestra. If Isabella Cerullo and I don't believe Nissa's here, but Nissa Kabuk both placed in our Honors Orchestra. Isabella for playing the viola and Nissa for the violin. Congratulations to them both. And next up, we have Mr. Ryan Gorman from the high school.
I'm always impressed by the quality of the inventions at the invention conventions. I think they all really have real-world capabilities, and so often I wish they were in real manufacturing existence right now. This year was no exception. In first place at the high school, we had Charlotte Zug and Catherine Smith with their lower limb prosthetic innovation. Oh, we're doing okay. In second place, we had Tamaya Pottinger with her Aqua Bloom self-watering LED pot. And in third place, we had Michael Ginhart with the Sleep Smart app. I have one more award I want to present real quickly, not real quickly, with all due adoration. It's an award that's near and dear to my heart. Senior at CHS, Ben Tianoff achieved the rank of Eagle Scout last month at his board review.
Congratulations again, Ben. Eagle Scout is the highest honor for the Boy Scouts, and I don't know if you're all aware of this, but you were just presented that by a fellow Eagle Scout, Mr. Gorman. So lots of accolades for Mr. Gorman this evening. One more piece of recognition real quick, and I'm going to hand it over to the board president, Mrs. Laura Fitzwater. As I mentioned earlier this evening, this is the 40th year that the Cinnaminson Invention Convention has run, and if you think about that, and some of us are barely alive long enough to know 40 years of anything. It's extraordinary, and it is a treasure in this district, and I hope it is around for another 40 more. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Fitzwater, who is going to, I'll let you tell what you're going to do.
So I'm going to read a resolution of the Cinnaminson Township Board of Education honoring Mrs. Elaine Mendelow and the Cinnaminson Invention, and the Cinnaminson Invention.
Mrs. Mendelow, do you mind joining us?
This is very official. So whereas the Cinnaminson Township Board of Education recognizes the profound importance of fostering creativity, problem-solving skills, and an innovative spirit among its students, and whereas 40 years ago, Mrs. Elaine Mendelow demonstrated extraordinary vision and unwavering dedication by conceiving and establishing the Invention Convention program, which has provided countless students with a unique platform to explore their ingenuity and develop essential skills for future success. And whereas through the Invention Convention, students in Cinnaminson Township and beyond have been empowered to identify real-world problems, brainstorm creative solutions, design and build prototypes, and effectively communicate their ideas. And whereas the Invention Convention has not only enriched the academic experience of participating students, but has also fostered a deeper appreciation for science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics principles. And whereas Mrs. Elaine Mendelow's commitment to the Invention Convention has involved countless hours of volunteer work, collaboration with educators and community members, and a steadfast belief in the potential of young minds, leaving an indelible mark on the Cinnaminson School District. Therefore, be it resolved that the Cinnaminson Township Board of Education hereby expresses its deepest gratitude and sincere appreciation to Mrs. Elaine Mendelow for her visionary leadership and enduring commitment to the students of our community through the establishment and nurturing of the Invention Convention. And be it further resolved that this board recognizes the significant and lasting positive impact of the Invention Convention on the intellectual growth, creativity, and problem-solving abilities of our students. Be it resolved that the Cinnaminson Township Board of Education hereby honors Elaine Mendelow for her forward-thinking teaching techniques, commitment to innovation, and stalwart advocacy for problems-based inquiry. Resolved that this resolution be read into the record at the regular board meeting of the Board of Education of Cinnaminson Township today, Tuesday, April 15, 2025, and that henceforth the Cinnaminson Invention Convention shall be in perpetuity known as the Elaine Mendelow Invention Convention.
I just want to say that there was a big surprise 2 weeks ago, right? And it is really a joyous thing for me to be here and to hear all of this nice stuff, because it has been my joy to work with Cinnaminson all these years, and to come back even after I retired. I worked with the district for many, many years, and then when we got new people working, I mentored our current person, and I made a good choice, and I think that that will perpetuate things for a long while, too. So I brought an invention with me. One of the students actually created the invention, and the parents went and had it manufactured And it's here, the ExecuPutt golf putter. If somebody would, yeah, I have it right there. I just wanted to say that even when I moved, that came with me. So I talked to the parents. This was Amy Seiden years ago. And Amy,
Did we make any money?
Amy, did they make any money? He's asking. They said that they made enough money on the sale of this invention for Amy's college education.
Wow.
Of course, college education wasn't what it is today. But this is actually the real putt, golf putter. And they asked Amy, why did you invent this? She said, because my father was always saying, Amy, get the ball, Amy, get the ball. So this reels it out and brings it back. So it's pretty interesting. And I've kept in touch with a lot of these students and their parents. And many of them are even grandparents, and we have one right here. Kim is one of the early students of mine. And now her son is the winner of the Invention Convention. So the last week, we had a Passover Seder, and people were working, and the girl came up to me and said, Mrs. Mendelow, you know that my invention is, I see it in the stores now. It's a toothbrush with the toothpaste that comes right out of the toothbrush. And she was going on and on about it. So excited, even from, today, from long ago when she created it. So I think it has an impact for sure. And I'm so glad that the district is taking advantage of it. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes. Can we?
Okay.
Freezing.
Thank you.
And congratulations to all of our student winners on your achievements. Really, job well done. We are going to move on in just a second to the second presentation. I just need my technical assistants to switch over. Of course, everyone is invited to stay for our student safety data system reports. So for my second presentation this evening, we have a requirement as a school district in the state of New Jersey to report on our SSDS report, which stands for the Student Safety Data System. And the purpose of the SSDS is to collect data on various incidents to provide a comprehensive view of school safety and climate within the school district. And this information is used and reported to the state and also to the federal government as well to inform about policy decisions to support local efforts in creating safer school districts. And so what is reported as part of the SSDS? I realize that what is displayed on the screen up there is very challenging to read. A copy of this is available online if any folks would like to follow along. But we report on all incidents of violence, vandalism, substance use, offenses that involve weapons, incidents of HIB or harassment, intimidation, and bullying, anytime that restraint or seclusion is utilized on the students. And then we also report on other incidents that lead to removal or more commonly referred to in school districts as suspensions. And also we report on HIB trainings and programs that are conducted by both the school and the district. So again, I mentioned every school district in the state of New Jersey, even charter schools, are required to report this data, and then the state offers an aggregate data as well. We report these twice a year, the reporting period from the first half of the school year and then the reporting period from the second half of the school year. This evening I'll be reporting on our results from the first half of the school year. This information is publicly available, like I mentioned, on the Board of Education Board Docs document for this evening. So I will point out a couple of highlights from the report. It is color-coded. I don't know how well that is coming across this evening, but essentially any area that is green up there is representing a box that is juxtaposed against the reporting period 1 from the 2023-2024 school year. Green typically means that there are less incidents, not typically, green does represent that there are less incidents in that particular box than the prior year. Also, as a point of comparison, I've included the report period 2 from the previous school year. So holistically, you have a view of the entirety of the 23-24 school year from report period 1 and report period 2, and then the juxtaposition of the green and the red there show areas of increase and decrease. Just taking a snapshot approach to this, which I don't think really informs anyone too terribly well, but just at a glance, you'll see that there is more green than red. Obviously, that doesn't give us any pause to pat ourselves on the back. Any incidents of violence, vandalism, substance use, weapons are too many in our schools. One thing that I do wear as a point of pride is Cinnaminson is not a district that underreports. We wear our data. There are certainly ways that you can make decisions in reporting this data that some things could otherwise not be reported, but if an incident happens, we own our data, because owning our data helps to inform preventative measures and also how well we respond to these incidents as well. The areas that are showing up in red are certainly areas that we look at and cause for further discussion amongst the board and amongst the administration and the staff as well. But overall, as I look at the total from report period 1 this year, I'm in that second column there, incident total all the way at the bottom, and we are reporting 36 incidents total in the district. That is from all 5 school locations, because we report Memorial School now as well, juxtaposed against the total from the report period 1 last year of 47. It's approximately a 20% decrease in the total number of events. Again, that information is only so useful because incidents of violence can certainly vary, and incidents severity of HIB can certainly vary as well. My point in saying this is that any incident that is reported, we take very seriously as a school district, and again, we use this information to help inform some of our responses and also preventative measures as well. So at this point, I'd like to ask any members of the board if you have any questions about the data that I am reporting this evening.
No.
So this is report period 1. Report period 2, probably in the August board meeting, we'll be reporting from report period 2. Hopefully it continues to trend more positively. And with that, this is our SSDS report for report period 1. Thank you very much.
All right, moving on to section 8, correspondence to the board. I did receive a couple of, I said 3 emails from parents this month. Anyone else have anything else about correspondence received?
I did. I received a few emails and messages. I received a message from a parent regarding safety concerns regarding an incident in school, which was referred to the superintendent, and he handled that. A few emails, I've had about 5 emails from people requesting that we amend policy 2431 to allow homeschooling students. I had 2 pro and 2 against. I'm sorry, 5 pro and 2 against.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on to committee reports. We had 2 committee meetings this month, the Finance and Personnel and the Facilities and Transportation. We'll hear from Kate Blystein for the Finance Committee, please.
The Finance Personnel Committee met via Google Meet on Wednesday, April 9th at 5 p.m. Mrs. Wilkie began the meeting and gave an update on the preliminary budget submission. The transmittal of the preliminary budget was approved at the March 18th Board of Education meeting. Since then, the preliminary projections of the township assessed value has increased, which results in a lower tax impact for community members. Originally, it was projected that the annual tax increase for the average assessed home value would be $179.79 per year, $14.98 per month. Using the new assessment, the increase decreases to $152.31 per year, $12.69 per month. Mrs. Wilkie explained to the committee that there is a tax levy incentive aid that NJ school districts are able to apply for to address budget shortfalls. In order to apply for this aid, the district would have to use all adjustments and banked cap, which would raise the tax levy by 12.15%. The district would then be eligible to apply for the tax levy incentive aid, which would be an additional tax levy increase, and the state would provide 5% in additional funds to the district. Cinnaminson is not eligible for this aid because the 2025-2026 tax levy increase is only 3.7%. Mr. Capello gave the committee an update regarding preschool facilities and potential space for the upcoming school year. The district is currently in negotiations with the local providers for classroom usage. Mr. Capello began the personnel portion of the committee meeting. He discussed confidential personnel matters and discussed personnel needs for the upcoming school year. Mr. Capello also provided an update on the hiring process and schedule. The next meeting of the Finance and Personnel Committee has not been scheduled at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bleisstein. Now we'll hear from the Facilities and Transportation Chair, Mrs. Iacone.
Yes, good evening, everyone. The Facilities Transportation Committee met via Google Meet on Monday, April 14th at 3:30 p.m. Mrs. Wilkie began the meeting and gave an update on the preliminary budget submission. She also informed the committee that the district will not be eligible to apply for the tax levy incentive aid. Mr. Capello gave the committee an update regarding preschool facilities and potential space for the upcoming school year. Mrs. Wilkie provided a list of operations and maintenance summer projects. The department will be renovating several classrooms in the Eleanor Rush School as well as a new preschool room at the Memorial School. The department will also be constructing canopies for the new learning cottages at the New Albany School and the Eleanor Rush School. Mr. Capello presented the Township Emergency Operations Plan to the committee for review. Mr. Capello reviewed field usage by non-district parties. He then spoke about the current facility fees and the need for updates and future review. Mrs. Wilkie discussed the possibility of adding a GPS system to the district's fleet of school buses. She will follow up with an update and possible demo at the next committee meeting. Mr. Capello ended the meeting with an update on the number of bus aides in the district. The next meeting of the Finance Personnel Committee has not been scheduled at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Iacone. Ms. Falconero, can I have a motion to approve Section 9 Committee Reports, Item A?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Trempe. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Eileen Bleisstein?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 10, Public Comment. Members of the public are reminded that comments should be limited to items appearing on this meeting's agenda. There will be another opportunity during this meeting to comment on non-agenda items. All members of the public wishing to speak on an agenda item should raise their hand to indicate their wish to speak. When called upon, participants should state their first and last name and address clearly for the record. In accordance with Cinnaminson Board of Education Bylaw 0164.6, comments will be limited to a maximum of 4 minutes per person. The comment period will be limited to 30 minutes in duration. With that, do we have anyone who wishes to speak on any of the agenda items tonight?
I have a point of order question. If correspondence to the board is part of our agenda, and it was referenced that policy 2431 was mentioned, if that was mentioned as part of communication to the board, was that making an agenda item, and can we make public comment on that?
Sir, it does not appear on the agenda, so I would hold public comment on that for the next portion of public comment.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, moving on to Section 11, Personnel, Certified and Non-Certified. Mr. Capello.
Thank you again, Mrs. Fitzwater. We are under Section 11, Letter A, Appointments and Reappointments, seeking the board to approve the following items. There's a list of certificated staff, items A through E, and a non-certificated name under Letter A. Under Letter B, Transfers, seeking the board's approval on item number 1, as listed in the agenda. Under letter C, resignations and retirement, seeking the board to approve items 1 through 5 as listed in the agenda. Under letter D, leaves of absences, seeking the board's approval on items 1 through 4. They are listed by ID number in the agenda. Under teaching overload, seeking the board to approve item 1 listed in the agenda. Nothing under letter F. Under letter G, extra duty appointments, seeking the board to approve items 1 through 15 as listed in the agenda. Nothing under letter H. Under letter I, student teachers, there are 6 for consideration by the board listed in the agenda, items 1 through 6. Under letter J, seeking the board to approve numbers 1 and 2. Under letter K, tutors, seeking the board to approve item 1. And under job description, seeking the board to approve the 3 job descriptions that are listed in the agenda, items number 1, 2, and 3. Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater.
Thank you, Mr. Capello. Ms. Iacone, can I have a motion to approve Section 11, Personnel, Certified, Non-Certified, items A through L?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Meeker. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Falconero?
Aye.
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 Aye, but I abstain from letter A, number 1, certificated A, and J, number 1J.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 12, Curriculum and Instruction. Dr. Goldburn.
Mr. Capello, did you want to have some
Yes,
introduction?
very briefly, thank you, Dr. Goldburn.
Thank you.
We will say Mrs. Llewellyn, I believe you have someone you'd like to introduce the board to.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to take a moment to introduce and welcome to Cinnaminson School District Ms. Courtney Nutt. Ms. Courtney is joining us as the newest school social worker on the child study team. She comes to us with 3 years of experience and a graduate of Monmouth University. Welcome, Courtney.
And actually, right back to you, Dr. Goldburn, for our next introduction.
I'll begin by saying last month we accepted the resignation of our mathematics supervisor, who's getting ready to take a picture, Ms. Anna Marie Barrett, who's retiring. We wish her well for her leadership over the years. And in her place, just a moment ago, pleased to introduce Ms. Nikki Arbelez, who's been a math teacher at Cinnaminson High School for the past 10 years. And we look forward to the leadership that she'll be providing to our district in mathematics instruction for many years to come. So congrats, Nikki.
Congratulations.
Number 12, letter A, requesting board approval of the professional development requests that are attached. Under letter B, the field trip requests that are attached. Nothing under letter C or D this month. Under letter E, requesting approval of the monthly HIB report. Letter F, the monthly suspension report. And under letter G, the conducting of a needs assessment for the comprehensive equity plan. Requesting approval of those items, please.
Thank you, Dr. Goldburn. Ms. Kate Blystein, can I have a motion to approve Section 12, Curriculum and Instruction, items A through G?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Trompe. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Mrs. Eileen Blystein?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 13, Special Education. Mrs. Llewellyn.
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. Under letter A, contracts, seeking the board to approve an agreement with Educational Services Unit of Burlington County to provide the following services during the 2025-26 school year at the attached fee schedule rates as listed in the agenda. Under letter B, students' placements, there are none. Under letter C, consultant agreement, there is none. And that is it for this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Llewellyn. Mr. Meeker, can I have a motion to approve Section 13, Special Ed, item A?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Blystein.
Both Blysteins.
Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Falconero?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion approved. Moving on to Section 14, Policy and Regulations. Mr. Capello.
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. There are 4 policies for consideration of the board under second reading and adoption this evening. They are listed in the agenda.
Thank you. Ms. Eileen Blystein, can I have a motion to approve Section 14, Policy Item A?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Trompe. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Falconero?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Business and Finance, Mrs. Wilkie.
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. Under Section A, Grants, we have no items this evening. Under Section B, Finance, Item 1, that the board approves the staff mileage reimbursements as outlined below. Item letter C, Operations, that the board approves the 25-26 calendar for all maintenance, grounds, custodial, and transportation department staff as attached. And Item 2, that the board approves the Cinnaminson Township emergency plan for 2025 as attached. Under Section D, Contracts, Item number 1, that the board approves the receiving revised and initial tuition agreements between Cinnaminson Board of Education and various LEAs as attached. Item number 2, that the board approves the renewal addendum with Sodexo Management for the 25-26 school year. Item number 3, that the board approves the application for the renewal for the 25-26 school year with the School Alliance Insurance Fund. And item number 4, that the board approves the renewal agreement with Phoenix Advisors for the 25-26 school year as attached. Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilkie. Mr. Kenny, can I have a motion to approve Section 15, Business and Finance, items A through D?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Meeker. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Falconero?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain from B1 and aye for all the rest.
Aye. Motion approved. Moving on, we have nothing under other business?
I would actually, if the board would indulge me, I would like to see if we could move the resolution that you read earlier under other business so that it can live under other business in perpetuity, and ask the board to take a vote on it as well.
Okay.
So this would be a motion, if supported by the board, to add the resolution officially naming the convention after Elaine Mendelou in perpetuity, and that will be moved under other business so it can live there.
Okay.
So item A.
So item A, under other business, is the resolution that I read, what he said. Ms. Trompe, can I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Meeker. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Eileen Blystein?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Motion approved.
Thank you to the board.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to
Oh, I'm
section.
sorry, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to amend policy 155.
Second.
You said that. Do we have discussion?
What was the motion number?
To amend policy 155, 0155. I'm sorry, did you hear me? It's a board committees.
Excuse me?
It's board committees.
Second on that?
Second.
Sheva, second.
All right.
So I'm sorry, just to clarify, the motion would be to refer that policy to the policy committee.
No, it would just be amend the policy, or do we have to refer it? I'd like to amend just a word in there. Do I have to refer it to the policy committee?
The bylaw does say that. policy
Okay, so then I'd like to make a motion to refer it to the policy committee to look at, just to change a word, a timely fashion for minute meeting minutes, and so we could change that, possibly talk about that.
I agree. I think we need more time in between when the agenda is released and when we're voting on stuff during meetings. So I would also like to update that.
I also agree.
I also agree on that.
Just to clarify, this is for board committee reports, not for when the agenda is released, correct?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay, the agenda is released on the Friday before the Tuesday board
Yes,
meeting.
this is about board committees.
just for committee minutes.
We're looking for committee minutes to come sooner, and I would just clarify and ask, perhaps with the clarifying words, wherever possible. For instance, there was a committee meeting yesterday, right? That's to put any kind of hours expectation, right? That's going to be as reasonable as possible. As I think Mrs. Wilkie had those minutes out that evening or by
Exactly,
the next
yes.
morning. So just to clarify, the motion is to refer policy 0155 back to the policy committee for consideration at the next policy committee meeting to update the language or consider the language related to releasing the committee minutes in a timely fashion. Did I summarize
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
That's the motion.
Okay, so the motion is to refer it back to committee for clarification of wording. Okay, so,
Just more specific wording.
Yeah.
right. So we'll take a vote on referring it back to committee. Okay, Ms. Falconero?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passed.
I would also like to make a motion to amend policy, or I guess send back policy 2431 to include homeschool students in athletics
Second.
for 1 year.
Second. Oh, did you?
So we're going to make a motion on whether or not to revisit the homeschool policy again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the motion is, are we going to send it back to committee?
Well, I mean, if I could amend it here, but I was just told that we can't do that. So if we could send it back to policy committee, so we could talk about it again, that would be great.
Okay, so that's the motion that was being made?
Yes, to send it back to
to
policy committee. Yep.
Okay. All right, so Ms. Falconero?
Aye.
The mo-
Point of order. Are we? still
Yeah, could we have a discussion about it? From us? I just have a
Discussion
few things written out that I'd like to discuss about it.
About, before we make the motion on sending it back to the committee?
Yes. Motion, you make a discussion about it?
Point of order.
Excuse me, sir, excuse me, sir, the board, sir, let the board do their business, please, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. If, there will be a chance for discussion, so you made the motion, so just like anything else, we would take a vote on, there would be an opportunity to discuss, so when Mrs. Fitzwater asks for discussion,
Okay.
be an opportunity to share.
Sure. All right, I just wanted to make sure that it was right now that I did it. So I wrote something out, but I was on the
Okay, so wait a
policy,
minute, so let's do the
vote first and then discuss.
No, we would-
let's do comments or
first,
questions.
right?
Comments or
Yeah,
questions?
go
This
for
would be
it.
the comment.
Okay, perfect.
Go for it.
All good? All right. So I was on the policy committee last year when we discussed policy 2431. I don't think that there was enough thorough research, not enough to make an informed decision. We have received more research from a member of the public than I feel we did as a board last year. I would like to see this policy amended. Last year, there was no reference to NJSIA rules, no reference to speaking with local schools that allow it, no discussions with coaches or athletic directors, and no consideration for the email requests from our community. Last year, I received 7 emails in favor of including homeschool students and 1 against it. I asked for and was given permission to read one of the emails I received last year. They wrote, "I am writing to you as a Cinnaminson resident who is in support of allowing homeschoolers to participate in extracurricular activities, specifically sports teams. I understand you are researching an amendment to policy 2431, and I am in favor of allowing homeschoolers to participate in extracurricular activities, including but not limited to sports, dances, and clubs. This issue at its core is not about politics or parental choices, it's about the kids. These are children who live in our town, whose families pay taxes, who cheer for our teams, and who want to be a part of their community in a meaningful way. At the end of the day, we should let the kids play. Many of the homeschooled students in our town have grown up playing on Cinnaminson youth sports teams, wearing the same uniforms, building relationships with their peers, respecting their coaches, and representing this community with pride. Once they reach high school, however, they are suddenly shut out from continuing those opportunities simply because of their educational path. This cutoff not only disrupts their athletic growth, but also their sense of belonging and connection to the town they've been a part of their entire lives. Let's remove the barriers that prevent students from building friendships, developing teamwork skills, and contributing to the spirit of Cinnaminson. This is a chance to show what it truly means to be building our future together. Thank you."
I
agree with Kate. I think it's very hypocritical that our mission statement says in partnership with family and community when we're excluding part of our community members just because they decided homeschooling was the best fit for their family. I also think it's extremely disappointing that we preach inclusivity, yet we've made this motion 3 times now, and there hasn't been any progress towards a resolution. Thank you.
And I would just want to say that as a parent of a homeschool child, that I just feel that it would make Cinnaminson more inclusive with our mission statement, including the community and their thoughts.
I'm just really glad that we're actually having a discussion. I welcome input from people who are going to vote against this. It's the only way we're going to ever come to some kind of agreement is to discuss it, and this is the best way to do it right here. I know there's a lot of issues that were brought up. Safety is one of them. I've never understood that. NJSIAA allows students to participate, so I don't understand the safety issue. We have a lot of towns close to us, Delran, Haddonfield, Maple Shade, West Deptford, goes on. During the research that was done, there was no research reaching out to schools that actually have the policy and getting their input. So I do have some of that here. Also, with our board goals for this year, this is what we should be doing because the board goals say, sorry, if I can read it. Continue the systematic review of existing policies, regulations, and Board of Education bylaws. In doing so, the board shall periodically meet as a committee to identify policies ripe for review. Engage the support of the community where appropriate for input on board policies and regulations. So I think that in line with the mission statement, I think if we could just, I'm looking for amending the policy, just put it in for 1 year. Let's give it a try, put an end date on it. If it doesn't work out, we can say, we tried. You know, we tried to include the community, and if we like the results, then we can remove that 1 year and then let the homeschool children play. So I think it's great that we send it back. I think we should send it back and actually do some real research on this topic.
Thank you. In the spirit of fairness, I will share an email I received this evening. I wanted to take a moment to share my perspective on why I believe amending or overturning this policy would not be in the best interest of the community. Why homeschooled children should not be allowed to participate in daytime activities. From both a policy and legal standpoint, there are several reasons to argue that homeschooled children should not be allowed to participate in daytime extracurricular activities, especially those governed by this policy. Policy 2431 often outlines standards and eligibility requirements for participation in interscholastic activities, such as maintaining academic performance, attendance, and behavioral expectations within a school system. Homeschooled students are not held to the same daily attendance requirements, disciplinary systems, or grading standards as their public school peers. Allowing homeschooled students to participate in daytime activities under this policy may create an uneven playing field and undermine the policy's intent to ensure fairness and uniform accountability. Legal concerns. From a legal perspective, daytime extracurriculars typically occur during regular school hours and utilize public school facilities, staff, and funding. Allowing non-enrolled students to access these resources raises questions about use of taxpayer dollars. Homeschooled students are not officially part of the school enrollment and thus not entitled to public school benefits that enrolled students receive. Liability and oversight. Schools are responsible for student safety during activities. Supervising students who are not officially part of the institution can create legal and insurance complications, especially if an incident occurs. Alternative opportunities exist. Homeschool students already have access to private extracurricular programs, co-op groups, and community leagues. Their exclusion from public school daytime activities does not deny them access to enrichment. It simply preserves the integrity of public education systems that rely on structure, oversight, and equitable access. I, along with many other parents I have spoken with, firmly believe that the school board's final decision was made with the best interests of the students in mind, prioritizing both their safety and ensuring fairness across the Cinnaminson School District.
I'd like.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like to just possibly discuss what you just mentioned. You said daytime activities. I would say if we're the first school ever to do this, that would make sense. But we have a host of schools that already throughout the state have this program. And they have, Delran and Maple Shade and Haddonfield have been in contact, and I could read what they wrote, if I can find it. Board docs.
This could go on ad nauseum, but just for percentages, 23% of Burlington County schools and 18% of Gloucester County schools allow homeschooling. All right, so the vast majority in both districts that are closest to us don't allow homeschooling. All right?
Does that mean we shouldn't?
That doesn't, no, that means that we took a great look at it last year and made a decision, the committee made a decision, and hence the board took that decision and decided that that was in the best interest of our students in the Cinnaminson School District.
So I'd just like to say, we looked at the research that was done, and stakeholders were not reached out to. Stakeholders were the kids. The stakeholders are the students, the athletes that participate,
Excuse me, ma'am.
coaches.
The board's having a discussion. Can you please be respectful
hold
of
on.
that?
Yeah, so, I'm sorry.
Ma'am, please.
So we didn't reach out to coaches, we didn't reach out to athletic directors, and we did not reach out to athletes that would be affected. We should reach out to the stakeholders. It's just really important that we do that. I believe one of our policies about committees says that we should be reaching out to the people who are affected by those policies. We did not do that research, and I'm just asking, let's send it back and review it, and then if we can't come up for a one-year program, then we'll rest. But I think we should at least go to consideration. Last year, the discussion was not discussed completely by the board. They were sent an email and asked to give their input, but there was never a discussion by the complete board on this topic.
So I guess one of the things, when you make reference about reaching out to stakeholders, as elected officials of the Board of Education, the board members are ones that are reviewing policies and regulations. That's one of the primary responsibilities of a board, is to review policies and regulations for the school district that they serve. And so that has been done. So it seems to me, and maybe I'm inaccurate here, that this will be continually brought up every meeting until you get the answer that you want.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Just asking that we can actually do more research. This is a new board. Every year, there's a new board. We're not bound by the previous board. So I'm asking that
I completely understand you're asking that, and I totally respect that. I truly do respect that, but this is either the third, I think, or fourth meeting, I'm not sure. So this has been asked to the current board, and we have given you our
It has
answer
been
previously.
asked, but there was no discussion on it.
Okay, so
That's my point. So can we have a discussion in a committee meeting, and let's get the full input from the board?
So when you say in a committee meeting, when you're saying the full board, that's not.
Here, right here, let's have a discussion right here. Isn't that how we?
I think we just did that.
I think we just did that.
Okay. Well, we didn't reach out to stakeholders, and I think that's important.
This is
So we
obviously
feel differently on
important
that.
to members of our community. They're continually, they're reaching out, they're sending us emails. Obviously, it's important to them. We owe it to them to do the research, do the hard work, send it back to the policy committee, and make another decision there.
Okay.
That's the end of it.
I think we're ready for a vote. Okay. So we're voting yes to send it back to committee and no to not send it back to committee.
Okay.
Ms. Falconero?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Because we have a tie, it does not go back to committee this month. But I appreciated the discussion.
I do too, actually.
really
Welcome,
did
and I think
appreciate
it's
that
great that we're
discussion.
talking.
Thank
All right. We are moving on to public comment. All right, so members of the public are reminded that comments should be, no, we'll skip that. All members of the public wishing to speak on agenda items only, or non-agenda items, anything you want to talk about, should raise your hand to indicate your wish to speak. When called upon, participants should state their first and last name and address clearly for the record. In accordance with the Cinnaminson Board of Education Bylaw 0164.6, comments will be limited to a maximum of 4 minutes per person. The comment period will be limited to 30 minutes in duration. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, the board will not publicly discuss or comment on matters involving personnel, litigation, negotiations, or attorney-client privilege. The board may choose not to respond to comments made by members of the public during this portion of the meeting. However, all comments will be given appropriate consideration. Matters requiring follow-up will be referred to the superintendent for resolution. Please be aware that all board employees retain the right of privacy and shall retain all rights against defamation and slander according to the laws of New Jersey. The board shall not be held liable for comments made by members of the public. And with that said, if you do wish to speak, the podium is there. Go for it, Mr. Sell.
Douglas Sell, 104 Cuthbert Road. As you all know, I and others in the community have been advocating for an amendment to Policy 2431 in order to allow homeschoolers in Cinnaminson to participate in athletic competition. As part of this process, I've shared my research with all of you on the board. I've shared the results of my discussions with athletic directors in local school districts like Haddonfield, Maple Shade, Delran, and others, something that the previous policy chair and the previous policy committee did not do last year. I have passed along research and information from the NJSIAA, the governing body for school athletics and competition, research that was not looked at or considered by last year's policy chair or the policy committee. I have suggested a temporary policy change, similar to what was done in Maple Shade a few years ago, in order to proof out if some of the concerns identified by members of the board and the public have any validity. Many months when I come up to this podium, I don't know whether to curse the board or thank the board. This process of advocating with other stakeholders has been both wildly rewarding and utterly disappointing. I have seen some members of this board go the extra mile and do their own independent research when it came to Policy 2431. I have seen them engage the community and ask questions in order to inform themselves. Conversely, I've seen other board members dig their heels in based on their own ideology and prejudices, refusing to have any intelligent discussion or do any independent research. To these board members that vote no to amending or even having a discussion relating to Policy 2431, when you vote no, you are telling your community you do not believe in equal access to public resources. You do not believe in integration with the community. You do not believe in civic engagement and positive community outcomes. You do not believe in enhancing team diversity and talent. And you do not believe in the precedent set by neighboring communities that have been successfully allowing homeschoolers to access athletic competition, some of which have been doing it for over 2 decades. To the members that voted no tonight, if you believe in equal access to public resources, if you believe in integration, if you believe in positive community outcomes for all, if you believe in enhancing team diversity and talent, you must be willing to at least have a transparent and inquisitive discussion relating to Policy 2431. And if you engage in the process, you will be left with one reasonable conclusion: amend Policy 2431 and allow homeschoolers to participate in athletic competition. You can applause. I have one last thing I'd like to say, and it's not related to Policy 2431. It's related to Policy 0167. this also deals with not just the policy, but decorum. Last month, a member of the community, rather than address the board, as is the policy of this body under policy 0167, this member of the public began addressing me directly in the crowd. As policy 0167 states, quote, "All statements, questions, and inquiries shall be directed to the presiding officer." Irregardless that this person is a former board member and was lying at the podium to our community, that lack of decorum was unacceptable.
Thank you, Mr. Sell. That's 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Sell.
Dutch Cell. I have a couple things to say. First thing, over the last 5 days, I've started a petition, and in those 5 days, I've received almost 400 signatures from students and adults from Cinnaminson and surrounding communities. One of the signatures that stood out was the son of one of our school board members who was against amending the policy. Also, many of his son's friends signed. You've had me and my dad and many other people come up.
It's okay. Take your time.
Can I finish reading what he wrote?
Yes.
My dad has come to many school board meetings, has engaged with many emails, has had many meetings with many different school board members. He's even done his own research and contacted many other school districts that allow homeschoolers to participate in extracurricular activities. Every athletic director spoke positively of allowing homeschoolers and increased engagement with the community. Over the last, you talked about that. Last thing he has on here, please amend policy 2431 and allow homeschoolers to participate in extracurricular activities. Thank you, Dutch.
You've had many people come up in favor of amending it, and it seems like a big deal for them. And me and my dad get asked all the time why they get pulled out, and I mean, at first I didn't want to, but it was because I didn't want to miss my friends, and I didn't want them to leave me out, because like we used to talk all the time at lunch, and I met all my friends, like most of my friends, during lacrosse and sports and flag football, and you guys aren't giving the chance to me or my sister or any other homeschooled kids in the future. But it's a big deal for us, and it seems like a big deal for people who don't want the policy to be amended. Why don't we see them up here yelling at you guys and saying, "Don't amend it, I'm scared for my child's safety"? Like, I don't get it. You see us, it's a big deal for us. Sports, I love playing sports, I'm active, but it's a big deal. And I've been up here 2 times now. My dad's been up here numerous amount of times. Emailing, talking, I went door to door and I asked the members of the community, and nobody I asked, I'm not lying, nobody said, no, don't amend it. I don't feel safe, nothing. But if it was such a big deal for everybody who's sending the emails to other board members saying, don't amend it, why don't they come up here and say it to your guys' face? Don't hide behind a computer screen, come on.
Sean Rinkowitz, and I think that homeschool kids should play sports because it provides them with a valuable opportunity to socialize and build friendships with peers. Participating in team sports fosters essential life skills such as teamwork, communication, and discipline, which are crucial for personal development. Additionally, being part of a sports team can boost their confidence and help them stay physically active, promoting a healthy lifestyle. Engaging in school sports also allows homeschooled students to experience the excitement of competition and school spirit. And I am a sports player, and I know homeschooled kids that are pretty good at sports, but their talent is getting held back because they're not being able to play more and be more active by playing school sports. So that's all I have to say, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joanne Bailey, 600 Overlook. I consider myself a Cinnaminson lifer. I was born and raised in Cinnaminson. I was a member of the cheerleading squad, lacrosse team, and graduated in 1987. I left Cinnaminson only to attend college at Bucknell University, where I played Division I lacrosse, followed by optometry school in Boston. Upon graduation in 1995, I moved home, met my husband, bought my childhood home from my parents, then raised my children, our children, here in Cinnaminson, who attended public school. They graduated now, 2019 and 2022, but both played volleyball and lacrosse while attending honors classes. During their pre-high school years, our daughters played for CLACs, valuing the camaraderie and life lessons that sports teach our youth. I decided to volunteer to coach. In fact, I coached various ages from kindergarten through 8th grade for 8 years and became the Cinnaminson girls lacrosse representative to help make CLACs an even better program for our community members. Caroline, our oldest, continued to play college lacrosse, while Allie left her glory days on the field in high school. Both my girls say that sports changed their lives for the better. In fact, Caroline got the job she has today because she played sports. That's what her boss said. So why am I standing here right now? And why do I need to tell you all of this? The answer is it shows my role as a tax-paying resident, a community member, a former Cinnaminson athlete, a parent, and a coach. For my wonderful hometown of Cinnaminson, I am Cinnaminson proud. That being said, I am extremely disappointed, and I'm here today to follow up on an email that I sent to you all personally last year about Policy 2431 and its explicit exclusion of homeschooled students from middle school and high school sports. In fact, it's double-spaced if you look at the policy, clearly, explicitly denying them the access to homeschool sports, homeschoolers. The policy states the Board of Education recognizes the value of athletic competition as an integral part of the school experience. Sports and other athletic activities provide opportunities to learn the values of competition and good sportsmanship. That is your policy, quote. Homeschool children should also have the opportunity to participate in school-based sports because extracurricular activities such as athletics are a vital part of a well-rounded education and should be accessible to all students in Cinnaminson, regardless of how they receive their academic instruction. Denying homeschool students the chance to join school sports is not only unfair, but also counterproductive to the values of inclusivity, community engagement, and equal opportunity. As board members, I ask you to recall your own mission statement that, quote, in partnership with the family and community, we will foster achievement, model excellence, and responsible behavior. Denying qualified athletic students who choose homeschooling from participating stifles excellence, inhibits achievement, and teaches them that exclusion is tolerated. Certainly not a responsible behavior. One strong argument in favor of allowing homeschool students to participate is that their parents and families contribute equally to the public education system by way of taxes. Public school sports programs are funded by local, state, and federal taxes. Homeschoolers pay into these monies just as traditional students. Excluding homeschool students from participating and benefiting from programs that they help pay for creates a double standard.
That is your 4 minutes.
Please.
Thank you.
Okay, we're right here. Benefiting from programs. All right. I'm not as well-spoken as her, so. Brittany, Cinnaminson, how y'all doing? I missed you guys. Benefiting from programs that they help pay for creates a double standard for families that choose an alternative educational path. As I alluded to previously, participation in school sports provides many benefits in addition to physical fitness. Sports help teach valuable life skills, including discipline, teamwork, time management, stress management, and leadership. Students have opportunities to make new friends, to develop social skills, experience personal growth, and even earn college scholarships. Well, homeschoolers deserve equal access to these opportunities. If there are concerns about academic performance and eligibility, the students can be held to the same high standards by requiring, there's not high standards here, by requiring proof. Most associations have policies about test scores and standardized test scores. These policies will help maintain the high integrity of Cinnaminson athletes while allowing broader access to members of our Cinnaminson community. While on the topic of community inclusiveness, sports teams are more than just school activities. Sports being students and their families together, they bring them. Stepping across educational, economic, and cultural lines, sports can facilitate mutual understanding and respect. To summarize, it is my opinion and the opinion of my family that homeschooled children should not be excluded from participation in school-based sports because of their educational choices. With fair and thoughtful policies, homeschoolers should be included for the benefit of both traditional and homeschooled students, the schools, and our community. Education, whether in the classroom or on the field, should be about opening doors, not closing them. Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Rovas.
I'm not done. So my turn now. So I just like, it's crazy. Like when this kid talked, you guys couldn't even look at him. You couldn't even look over here, man. It's crazy. Then when you clapped like a crazy person, I hope you guys watch these meetings back on YouTube so you can really see, like, absolutely the president representing our community. Crazy. So we want to talk about safety. So I haven't gotten to say this on the record, but you want to talk about safety, all right? Because my kid was assaulted in the middle school in an area where he didn't even belong in, during a study hall where there were, what did we say, less than 40? Less than 40 kids, 2 teachers. Then, after that happened, of course there was a video, which I'm thankful for the video. I'm all for cell phones up in these schools, okay? Let me tell you about the downside of the video. The downside of the video was that, oh, my bad, sorry. The downside of the video was kids decided to make edits of the video, and they were kids are board members, man, like crazy. And then when you try to call this person, that's why I don't expect anything from certain people up here. And then when you try to call this person, and they're basically, they sum up the conversation, which it's all recorded if anyone would like to hear it too. Summed up the conversation with my biggest issue is that the video was edited because he was looking at it. He saw it on his phone. He was looking at it, right? Kendrick Lamar looking at it. The issue was that it was the son. Tiago, give me your 4 minutes. Come here.
Ma'am, it doesn't work like that.
No, it does work like that.
Ma'am, you've had your
Absolutely.
4 minutes.
Give me
I
your
would
4
appreciate
minutes.
if you would respect.
So to edit the video, I
respect
called
the editing of
him,
the meeting.
and
Ma'am, at this
he
time, your 4
was
minutes is
so
over.
concerned that, not that my son was beat up.
Ma'am.
Beat up,
Your
okay?
4 minutes
Physically assaulted. This is my kid
concluded.
right here.
Ma'am,
Guess
I
how
would
many
ask that you
repercussions
please
he had?
respect-
0, because he did the right thing.
Can you turn
So at the end, I can
Mr. Creel, can you-
loud. All right, so we want to talk about safety. These kids aren't even safe in the.
Can we take a recess?
We want to talk about.
Can we take a recess?
education
We're not gonna do this.
At the end of the day.
We're going to take a recess.
Thank you. At this time, the Board of Education is on a recess. We will regroup shortly. Thank you.
Absences, let's
let's be real here, okay? You want to talk about the schools that are placed out of district? The kids
Can adjourn without it.
Okay. All right. Mrs. Iacone, can I have a motion to reconvene the public meeting, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Trempe. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we're back in public session. We do have 6 minutes left in public comment, if anyone else would like to comment.
Seeing none.
Okay. You were timed out, sir.
I think if you read the policy, if everyone's spoken, and there's still a delta of time left, go back up to speed.
That is not what our policy says.
What's the policy?
The policy is, we actually give more than is,
Policy says 3.
most policies, our policy actually says 3 minutes. We've expanded that to 4 minutes per person because I think that you can get a better sense of what someone is saying with that extra minute. But it does not give, we don't share the extra time with those who have already spoken.
Policy 016, it's either 66 or 67.
No.
We're,
Once everyone's spoken.
if everyone who wanted to speak has spoken, we're going to move on. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Saul.
have the policy right here.
All right, we're going to actually back up a little bit to other business. Mr. Capello?
So under section 16, I'm seeking the board's approval on item B that has been added to the agenda.
Kate Blystein, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Trempe. Comments or questions? Take a vote. Ms. Falconero?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to board comments. Mr. Kenny?
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. Congratulations to Mr. Gorman on his well-deserved Visionary Leader of the Year award. Also, congratulations to Mrs. Elaine Mendelo. Thank you for all you've done for our students over the past 40 years. And congratulations to all of our young inventors. It is amazing to see your passion and your creative ideas come to fruition. Congratulations to Ben Tienoff for making Eagle Scout, and to our most skilled and hardworking musicians for making All South Jersey Honors Orchestra and showcasing immense talent of Cinnaminson students. Congratulations to Mrs. Arbelez, and a thank you to Mrs. Barrett on her way out. Thank you to our student representatives for their monthly reports and everyone who spoke at the meeting tonight. The public hearing on the budget is scheduled for April 29th, right here at 5 o'clock. And the next regularly scheduled meeting is on May 13th, right here at 7 o'clock, with more information found on the district website. And Ms. Eileen Blystein would like to say a few words.
Thank you. I would just preface this. I have the policy in front of me. That's not what I wanted to speak about, but I do have it. It says no participant may speak more than once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard. So I believe if there's remaining time, the person can go back. That's how I read it. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say thank you to Ms. Fitzwater for agreeing to move the tables so that we could see everybody. I really appreciate it. It's nice to see everyone's face. It's nice to be able to have a conversation during the board and discussion, so I really appreciate that. I wanted to say thank you to Mrs. Wilkie for your presentations on the budget, because you really did a good job explaining that. I'm not for raising taxes ever, but you made such a great case, and you explained it well, how the cut from state aid, so I appreciate that. I do wish we did have several presentations this meeting and the last meeting. I wish we would actually do it before the meeting and next meeting. It's at 5 o'clock. A lot of people can't come to that at 5 o'clock, so I would love it if in the future, maybe we could do it, have a presentation, and then have a presentation again for those who can attend. So just more buy-in from the people, let them know. You did a great job. So I just wanted to, those are my comments.
Okay. And just remember that we do record the meeting so that they can see it. even if they can't see it live.
But we vote that day. So my point was, so people could, reach out and say, I like this or I don't like that. We could have more input from the public, so I think that would be beneficial.
All right, thank you. And with that, we no longer need an executive session. So, Mr. Meeker, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.